welcome to the network. Welcome to the Two Dads edition. Wait,
that's not it.
Start again.
Two Dads, Gen X edition.
Dude.
It's actually pretty cool.
I know. You know, I got my St. Patty's Day shirt, man, right here.
I wear green normally, but I don't have a St.
So I
Patty's
got
Day
my
shirt.
Kansas City St. Pat's shirt. There we go. Nice.
Nice. Very nice.
So
Mexi.
So yeah, James. So I'm currently looking for a 4-leaf clover, to kind of pay for my St. Patrick's shenanigans.
You do St. Patrick's shenanigans. I don't really do much for St. Patrick's Day at all. Like most years, I don't even wear green.
I know Mr. Irish over there, and it's like you don't want to do anything, and I'm like, dude. But what's crazy? I saw that Americans spend about $7 billion on St. Patrick's Day.
Holy crap,
every year,
insane.
just going out.
I don't spend $7.
You do technically probably gas, lunch, and stuff. Maybe.
No. I make food at home. There's usually gas in my car anyway, so I'm just
So as you guys can probably tell, we're going to be talking about St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. This comes out on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
I like to call it Dawson's Christmas. You know, we used to make a whole
Dawson's Christmas,
a Guinness tree, because it's my month. It's my birthday month. So you got the chicken pot pie to corned beef and cabbage and sauerkraut.
Yeah, I don't do that.
And we want to talk about kind of how to go out and have a budget and kind of be smart about your money, because we know, a lot of us have FOMO.
Right, because we're kind of like the two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I don't spend, you overspend.
Yeah, I mean, and the idea is so you don't go out with your friends and you're trying to keep up because you have FOMO and you really want to, have that budget to where you don't, at 2 a.m. you get your bill and it's $1,100 like I had one.
$1,100? Oh my gosh.
It's so bad.
That is bad. So if you, we hope you like what we're going to talk about, but don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, comment on what you think about the episode today and past episodes too. So we've got a lot out there.
So so in this episode, we're going to call it the Guinness reality check, the cost of being social, the corned beef budget, setting your budget, the rainbow's end of financial rebuilding when it comes to going out, and then the lucky strategy, how to socialize on a budget. So
nothing about haggis?
Haggis, no.
Haggis.
I don't like haggis.
Like, so I married an axe murderer.
Oh.
He'd
Pants.
No.
He'd pants now. Get your cranny out of the head. The kid's head so giant.
Back. Such a funny movie. Oh my goodness. Okay.
I love it. All right.
So the Guinness reality check. So one of the things that I realized soon after getting divorced, the first time and the second time, although not as bad the second time, I was like kind of overcompensating when paying for dates and things like that. And I ended up spending a lot more than I intended to.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually looking at a lot of what men will pay on dates, just in general, and guys in their 40s and 50s, the average man will spend $2,000. I don't know how they get away with the $2,000 to $10,000 annually just on dating.
Yeah, I'm actually not surprised.
And what's crazy is they found that the Gen X often carry the highest burden, the highest financial burden because of that, and the imbalance because of it, because you still got some of those other generations are like, nope, he pays for everything. He's a gentleman if he pays, and it's one of those things that you're like, come on, man. I mean,
right.
The world's changed. You can't have chivalry and you can't have,
I remember like before my second wife and I started dating, there was a woman I was dating and we went to a concert. It was Def Leppard, Poison, and Tesla. She was a rock fan. I'm a rock fan, it's from the 70s and 80s, and so it's awesome. But like the tickets themselves were like $80 a piece.
Yeah.
And this is 9 years ago. I bought t-shirts. The t-shirts were like $100 a piece, $60
$100 piece.
It was like $60 for her, $80 for me.
You bought 3 of each one, one of each one.
It was just one for the whole concert, but it's still like $60-$80 a t-shirt. Yeah. And then there's parking, and then there's dinner, and so I think that date cost me like $500-$600.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that some people spend $10,000 a year.
Yeah, and I think honestly that's a soft number. I mean, I think I know probably the 1 year that I was doing just like the meet and greets and stuff like that, I think I spent easily 15.
Jeez.
You know, just and you're just kind of to the point like, why do I have no money? I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm always paying for people.
Yeah.
The other thing that a lot of men get into, the bro code, you buy one round, I'll buy the next round. So we call it the round trap. You know, I've always had, you know, that understand, like you go to a ball game, I buy a round, the next guy buys the next round, the next guy buys the next round.
Right.
And so ultimately you end up spending the same amount. Like, let's say there's 4 of you, you get 4 beers, each of you buy a round, but it's kind of making it to where each of you aren't having multiple charges. But when it comes to going to a bar on St. Patty's Day or any holiday, that can
round of drinks on me.
You can have one guy, it's like round of Bud Lights on everyone, and the next person, you know, he spends $20, and the next person spends, I'm going to get a shot of Fireball for everyone, and that person gets a $60 hit, and you kind of go around. And of course, I'm kind of notorious for that, where like with football, I'd be like, okay, every time the Chiefs score, we're going to do a shot. And that was back when they would only score like, 14 points.
Yeah, right.
It was like
back
a miracle when they got a field goal. Yeah. Now, like with Mahomes, I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Because basically what happens, the Gen X ego kind of kicks in, and you want to be that bro.
Yeah.
And have fun. And what can happen be like a $20 day turns into a $500 outing, for a 3-hour thing. And you're just like, holy crap. And, I love on Friends how they kind of have that scenario where they all go out to dinner and Joey gets a salad, and then like Phoebe just gets water and bread. And of course, not Chandler, but Ross and Rachel were like, okay, we divide this up. Everyone owes $36.50. And they're like, what the hell, man? I just did breadsticks and water. I don't know, $36. Yeah. And sometimes that can happen too. And when I had that $1,100 tab, we got the big round table at Tanner's, and people came and went, because I was there at 10 a.m. till 2 a.m. And we had people coming in and going, and they'd like, oh, hey, I had one beer and some chicken fingers. I think that's like $18, and they'd give me $18 and walk away. And then, ultimately you found out that, their tab was actually $38.
Right.
And they didn't tip and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I did this. It wasn't for St. Patrick's Day, but my mom's birthday a few months back, where like a couple of my siblings and my parents, we went to an Italian restaurant down in Zona Rosa.
Yeah.
And it was a nice restaurant. It was good food and stuff like that. And so when the waitress came around, before she gave everybody's orders, I handed her my card, and I was like, "This is on me," because normally my parents pay for it. They're very, very good about that. They like doing that, but I didn't. I wanted to do that for my mom. They're always paying for us, and so as everybody's ordering their meals and stuff, and I'm looking at the prices on the menu, I'm like, oh crap, do I have enough money? Oh crap, do I have enough? And then they're like, so what do you guys want for dessert? And I'm like, oh crap, do I have enough money? It wasn't too bad. I mean, the meal was like, I don't know, 360, I left a good tip. It's probably a 30-40% tip, but this is like $360, $400. And
yeah.
I'm sitting there like, okay, this is going to be $150 total, maybe.
You're getting all teary eyed.
I know. I hate spending money. Yeah.
He's like, I thought they were all going to get water.
But there's this thing that happens where, like, especially after divorce, where it's like you're trying to make up for, my eye is stinging. They're trying to make up for like feeling inadequate.
Yeah.
And so you kind of go overboard a little bit initially, where it's like, no, I am good. Look, I'm happy, and I have enough money, and I do all this stuff, and I'm trying to prove to everybody that I'm in good shape.
I'm doing good, yeah.
Yeah.
And really or not, you're like, okay, I got to move this
right
here, move this here. Yeah, I mean, I had one where I went out with a bunch of people, and I wanted to pay, and it was like that, where one guy gets a fillet, another person gets it. I'm like, oh shit. So I'd like get on our work app. You can actually get money in advance from your future check, and so I'm like moving money over, and I'm like, okay, I think I got enough.
Yeah,
now.
I'm glad that on my bank account, it's like I can transfer between accounts like that, and so it's like even before I hand them the card, it can be like, all right, transfer $200 over. Yeah,
and then the last part of this is kind of like this social pricing.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the concept is adjusting your spending standards based on your perceived value of major life shifts.
Yeah.
So, let's say you get married, or let's say you get divorced, is probably a good shift.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you went from having a dual income to, okay, now I'm by myself. And let's say, you know, your partner made, you know, 4 times more than you.
Right.
Well, now
right.
you're getting used to your normal budget.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh,
It's
crap.
like I can afford Taco Bell, but I'm at.
It's like, well, I really want to go to a really nice taco restaurant, but Taco Bell is going to be good. You know, back in the day when Taco Bell was like, you know, 39 cents for a taco. Oh, that was so nice.
That really was nice.
So nice. Put your hand in the couch.
See, I don't really have too much of that problem, though, because I've never had a partner that made a bunch of money or anything like that. I've always been kind of the sole provider.
Yeah.
And so I'm always the one who's like, all right, everybody's got like $10 to spend, you know, taking the kids out to dinner or something like that. It's like value meals. That's it. You know, going to like CC's Pizza because it's like $5 a person, all you can eat kind of thing.
Gas station dad.
Yeah. So for me, it's kind of the opposite where it's like, because I don't have other people that I'm paying for, it's like I actually have a little bit extra money that I can splurge a little bit.
Yeah.
Which feels really good because I've never had that before.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. All right. So, hey, guys, you know, hit that like and follow button, hit that little bell, you know, but go ahead and leave in the comments, you know, any silly, stupid budgeting things you've done, any funny stories that going out with your friends, how you.
Or some of the mistakes you made of like, oh, I'll get the bill. And then it like straps you.
You're like, son of a bitch, how am I going to pay my car payment now? So, yeah, we'd love to hear from you on that.
Yeah. All right, so next we want to talk about like the actual like the corned beef budget. You know, corned beef is like the cheap stuff, right?
Corned beef,
not the filet mignon. But
so yeah, this is kind of like more the reality of going out versus staying at home. So we kind of broke that down in little 3. So restaurants versus reality. I think a lot of times, I think this year is kind of a big aha for me. I know the NFL. For all the streaming services you had to have. So if you want to be like me, we do fantasy football and you really want to watch most of the games. Like I used to watch every game and now I love the new highlight part so I can just watch the 38 minutes.
Yeah.
But what I used to do is basically you did the math and it's like, okay, with all the streaming services, it's like $1,500 you had to pay to have all it to be watching at home.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, well, it's still cheaper than being out or going out. And I'm like, kind of. I go, but I really, when I go out and watch football games, because I used to do the shots and food and all that stuff. Now, if my son's with me, I could easily spend $150 because he'll order like 3 meals, you know, in there. But now when I go, I'll have like maybe 1 or 2 beers. I never eat. So it's actually cheaper for me to go out during a football game because I just don't eat. I'm like, I wait till I get home or I eat right before I leave kind of thing. But where at home, you're watching the game, snacks, food, wings.
You might do that. I don't do that.
Well, I'm just saying that's like I actually spend more money at home than I do going out when it comes to football. But like the average meal can cost up to 285% more when eating out.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to me making it at home. So eating out consistently costs up to about $13,000 a year when you compare it to if you made that same meal going out versus staying at home. And when I saw that number, I'm like, holy crap.
Well, yeah, because like I do meal prep stuff where I buy a bunch of vegetables and kind of dice them and I saute them and all that kind of stuff. So I have and then I do like a protein. But like I spend if I were to calculate how much I spend on all of my meals throughout the day, I might spend $20 a day, 25 maybe. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty good actually.
For a college football game that my brothers and I got together for, we went and got some barbecue. It's like $150, $180 just for the barbecue, not including drinks, not including chips or anything like that. So yeah, that 285%, for me, that would be very, very accurate.
Yeah, I mean it's a high like I mean you think of wings, like we'll go to Beckelmeyer's or Buckermeyer's, so I'm probably saying it wrong. And we'll get all the chicken wings there and stuff like that. And we can get, I think we got 20 pounds of wings and it was like $42. You get 20 pounds of wings at Buffalo Wild Wings, that's like a $300 bill. I mean, that's crazy how much.
And then you talk about like the impulsivity of it. Like my brother and I were like, hey, let's get some barbecue, you know, and spent a whole lot more on food that we really didn't need to spend. But then there's like the, the Postmates or the delivery services and stuff like that add to the cost.
Yeah, I like to call that the impulse leprechaun.
Yeah, right.
It's basically talking about the convenience spending. The mail delivery services. When we were looking at that, like an average person will spend about $2,000 a year on just delivery fees and tips, and I'm like,
insane.
It's like, look,
it's $2,000,
and I know people that they do it for every meal. And
I mean, I complain about that, but then I repair my BMW. So.
but that's you doing yourself and saving money, and
right.
And like this couple, like we asked him, like, how much do you spend on delivery fees? And he's like, I don't know. Let me look really quick. And he's like going through, and he's like, oh my God, because I don't realize we did it this much. And the wife's like, what do you mean? And he goes, and he just hit a little button and told him. And he goes, we literally spent $8,000 last month on delivery food. And I'm like,
in a month?
I go, how much did you spend on your groceries? And he's like, $342. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah,
dude.
no, I mean, we've talked about it before in episodes about budgeting, where there was 1 month where I spent. I mean, it was my wife at the time that was doing most of the grocery shopping, and we spent $2,300 on groceries and like $1,400 on eating out.
Yeah, and you're like, wait a minute. Well, and that's what I used to hate. When I was married, is she would like to go get 2 weeks worth of groceries, and then probably 60% of the time we didn't eat it. We'd go out because of sports and stuff like that. And I have always been by the day of. Because I like my meat fresh. I like it not sitting for a couple days. I hate frozen meat, like recooking, except for steak. I can eat steak, but like chicken, it gets grainy and stuff. Yeah. And I was just like, I will go to the grocery store every day. Like, let's pick the meal. I'll go every day, get everything fresh. We won't waste money. And by doing that, we saved almost $1,800.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, holy crap. And our fridge looked like an Airbnb because like there's never anything in it.
That's my fridge right now.
I know it does. I've seen it.
I got top shelf is like all the monsters that I drink through for like a week or two, and then it's the diced vegetables and eggs.
Yeah, I was like, I looked at it. I was like, I don't know if he has anything to eat. I opened your fridge, and I was like, yeah, I look like how mine used to look when I was single. Yeah. I was like, holy crap.
Well, and you don't think about it because, like, supposedly McDonald's is cheap and Wendy's is cheap and Taco Bell is cheap and all that kind of stuff. Like, I prefer to go to Five Guys. Five Guys is, if I'm going to get a burger, I'd rather go to Five Guys or Red Robin or something. It's not that much more than McDonald's anymore.
Well, and that's the nice thing is I like that it isn't because it's like, okay, cool. Now you actually can, like, if I'm going out, I'm actually getting a nice burger, a nice meal, and I'm willing to pay that $25 for it because McDonald's, I'm paying $15. So, and it's gross and makes me feel nasty.
It becomes a deterrent to eating the cheap, nasty fast food stuff too.
And the funny thing is, I don't think I've had McDonald's in like 4 years.
I think
maybe a couple fries.
I may have had like a McChicken sandwich and maybe some nuggets or something like that in the last 2-3 years.
Yeah. So the last part of this, keeping up with the tomfoolery. I just kind of threw names. Probably it's really keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
And you kind of touched on this earlier, like the Gen X male need to appear successful as a single parent, as a man, so a lot of times we'll overspend or we'll pick unnecessary restaurants or we'll do very expensive places to eat to kind of keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah, we need to embrace our FAFO kind of mentality when it comes to this, where it's like, if you're going to go out and do that, fuck around, find out.
Yeah,
it gets really expensive really fast.
Well, and so, we really want to be like, be more true to yourself, be conscientious. This section is more like, be mindful of your going out, what you're doing,
Have a plan.
And, I like to make the comparison to D&D. When you pick your character, you either pick a wretched or an aristocrat, and there's like a range in that. And if you pick that aristocrat, then you are required to spend a lot of money in the game. Like you like, if you play your character right, you're literally like, oh, I can't have that water. I need freshly boiled water, and it must be touched with a lemon. Right. And you pay 2 gold for it, kind of thing.
There must be red rose petals in my water for me to spritz my fingers and face. Yeah.
But you do that anyway. The red rose petals, I've seen them laying around in your bathroom.
I've got a treat. It's like in what was it? Parks and Rec. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Treat yourself.
I just got to finish my bathroom so I can lounge in my tub.
Hey guys, so let us know in the comments how much you spend on mail.
Yeah, what's the most
meal
you've ever
delivery
found?
Fees.
As Dawson learns to speak. But like, what is the most you've realized you've spent, and like how surprised were you that you actually spent that much?
Yeah, I mean, we love to hear about it. We'd love to hear how you recognized how much you were spending and you kind of killed that and adjusted it accordingly. I know we have both definitely curved back. I know as Sid, I mean, we meal plan, we do the veggie shots and we do really well with that. And, it's man, we go down the city market for our vegetables and it's like we get a table this much of vegetables and it's $25.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got to use them within a couple days, but it's nice.
And I get the stuff that like it doesn't spoil super fast.
Yeah.
But it's like radishes and celery and stuff like that. It's not stuff that's like, it's not like a mushroom. Like 2 days later, it's mush.
Yeah, mush, mush. All right, so that brings us to the next segment: the rainbow's end of financial rebuilding.
The pot of gold.
I wish I could find a pot of gold. Dottie, where's the pot of gold? So I actually took what they call the 2-2-2 rule for in a relationship. It refers back to basically as a couple, you do one nice dining out every 2 weeks. You do a cheap getaway every 2 months, and then one really big vacation every 2 years.
Right. And
so what we wanted to do is kind of like, how do we rein that down to more like a single man, single woman? So we modified it to the 2-2 rule.
Yeah.
And that is
as a single man, and mine is a 0-0-0. Well, I'm changing it.
You're 0-0-0, and I noticed like on game nights, Cindy always cooks dinner for you. So it's like
you guys offer.
I know it's good. It's
you
great.
Offer.
So that's his one meal. That's his one big meal every 2 weeks is coming to our house. But what we do as a single person, instead of doing it as a couple, you basically dumb it down for a single person. So you're thinking maybe 2 nights in, 2 cheap outings, Taco Bell, or maybe you go get a beer with a friend, but you limit it to appetizer or something, and then like one big night out, every other month or every 2 months, ideally. And that's like going to the baseball game, doing something where you're being social, going out. Yeah. Because there's a lot of activities you can go to, like mixers and groups, where you don't have to spend that much. I mean, I know for me, when we had the dog park, the Barcade before they closed, it was great to just take the dog out there, sit on the patio, watch the dogs, and have a couple beers, and that'd be a $20 day kind of thing.
Well, and nice. Like one of the things that I've realized, because I've been like the sole provider, I've been raising kids, all that kind of stuff, and I've gone through 2 divorces, and everything's expensive and all that kind of stuff. I've never really focused on me. And so any trips that we took were typically like either family reunions or it was trips that the kids would enjoy. I enjoyed them too, but it wasn't me doing something that I just enjoyed to relax. And so, when it comes to that 2-2-2 and, 2 cheap outings, all that kind of stuff, as a therapist, I get burnt out a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm working with people with their emotions. I sit around and talk to people all day, but it's heavy oftentimes. And so one of the things that I've wanted to do ever since starting to be a therapist, and this, we're getting ready for this episode, helped to remind me of this commitment that I made a long time ago that I haven't followed through with, is I need to take time off, and so going out of town, I'm planning on going camping a couple times this year, going to Florida a couple times this year.
We're going to have a
Colorado. Camping. I mean, all kinds of stuff where it's like, like I'm going out to California in a few weeks to my daughter's husband's, going to be away for a while. And so she's going to stay at home for a couple of months. And so I'm flying out there to drive her back. That's not a vacation. I'm going to California. No, I'm going to drive 24 freaking hours on the highway. That's over a weekend.
It's so relaxing.
Yeah. And when I drove her out there, it was 24 hours at once on the highway. It was horrible.
It's rough.
I was happy to do it. It's my daughter. I love her. And of course I'll make that sacrifice, but taking that time for me, because I can adjust my schedule, I'm able to take a 3-day weekend And so going camping for 2 days is something, but that emphasis of like taking that time, and not just like going to a game, but taking a little bit more time to do something bigger, again, Parks and Rec, treat yourself, right?
Yeah.
Periodically, every so often, we need it.
And that's kind of the whole point of that last part, the two. Marriages in general do so much better when you have quality time and you actually put that time and effort to say, this is our time, our dedicated time.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that with Sid and I. Like we sometimes leave our phone at home and we just really try not to have that time interrupted. So
yeah, absolutely.
So what about the financial red flags? I know a lot of times, guys, there are girls out there that love being pampered and spending, and they don't have to spend crap. But being financially stable is very attractive to partners, men and women. And spending like a high roller all the time, and you get to the point that you spend crazy, but then you have no money. You're the kind of person that, I just got paid, and you blow your paycheck within 2 days.
Yeah,
that isn't a high quality partners aren't going to be attracted to that kind of lifestyle. Like, it might be cool to like rein them in, but a lot of people, once they see that that's
to rein in a partner,
that's what I'm saying. But they might be attracted at that time, but once they find that, this is how they live, and they're basically financially irresponsible, then it's kind of like a huge turnoff for guys and girls.
Right. Well, and so like one of the things that I look for, one of the things I pay attention to is, are they buying stuff, going out to eat, all that, but they're complaining about like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to pay my car payment.
Yeah.
Okay. But you just went and bought another purse, or you just went and got more clothes, or you just went out to this club. It shows the priority, right? And so when you're analyzing to figure out if this person is the right kind of person for you, it's not about how much money they make. Are they conscientious of how they spend? Because that's going to translate into the relationship. If I make more than they do, and all of a sudden they see me as a checkbook,
yeah,
Gen X, right? Checkbook instead of a debit card or credit card.
Yeah, checkbook.
I still have checks, but like
you do.
Yeah, but it's rolling today.
Everyone does, actually.
But no, my kids don't.
Really, not at all.
None.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean,
but
some places only take checks.
But that becomes an indicator. Are they going to not respect the value of managing money effectively, and that's going to become a big red flag in the relationship? And so, being able to manage money, because of past, as a sole provider in past relationships and stuff like that, moving forward, I don't want to pay for somebody's life. I want somebody who joins me in life and pays their, not like I'm not paying for them for anything, but like the shared value. Yeah. We build and support each other. Yeah.
Yeah. And that kind of goes down to budgeting to create that pot of gold.
Yeah.
It's like you're setting those limits to create a kind of a buildup. Like a lot of times I knew a person that every paycheck she put $200, and that was her going out budget.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, if I used 110 of it and I still had 90, then it would be 290 the next paycheck. And then, let's say she spent $50 of that, then it, just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah. And that her reward for doing that trickle up effect, like building that pot of gold, is when she got to about $1,000, she planned a trip.
Yeah.
And so she's like, it was made her more conscientious of, okay, I can go out and get drunk or spend all this money and then it's gone, and I don't remember half the night, or I can go have one drink, maybe have an appetizer, not spend it all, and then stay at home, meal plan, prep, all stuff like that.
Right.
And then go on walks, whatever, who knows. But ultimately her real goal was to have a vacation every year. Mm-hmm. And that was her way of rewarding herself by saving that specific amount of money and then going forward, kind of stuff. And it's nice. It's like when you actually are able to do that, because I'll tell you, it's so rewarding to pay for a vacation and there's no debt with it. Yeah. It's so nice to like go on a trip and know that it's 100% paid for. You might spend, souvenirs and stuff like that, but if you budgeted for it, then it's like it's not a surprise. And you come home and you don't have any debt, and that vacation was a true vacation. It's like you
And then
weren't
you don't have
working.
the stress of like,
Yeah.
now you got to pay
Pay it
more on a
off.
credit card, or you don't have the money to pay a bill. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've encouraged my kids to live like that because, I've not managed things well for most of my life, and so with 2 divorces and 5 kids, it's like I'm trying to play catch up now. I'm trying to create a better financial situation, so I'm much more disciplined now. But back in the day, it was like if we were going to go on a vacation or if we were going to have a good Christmas, it was credit.
Yeah.
Because there's always something that comes up, and so whenever you're trying to save for something, and then the a ball like the ball bearings go out or the bearings go out on the car, and you have to get a new hub or something like that, and well, there goes that $500.
Yeah.
And so it's been hard, but my kids have done a really good job of doing it a lot better than I did.
So, hey guys, hit that like and subscribe button again. And you know what? Leave in the comments how you financially built your life and made some changes. With our Gen Xers, we've gone through ups and downs, and we've all experienced kind of those hard times. I know during the Biden years, I definitely did. And just having to restructure my budget because of it. And it wasn't because, there's a lot to do that, but that's how life is. Like the world really changes and you have to adjust with it. And the people that don't, they're the ones that really struggle and get behind. And then, bad stuff happens.
And maybe leave a comment of like, what is some advice that you've gotten that really kind of changed your perspective on how you budget your money?
Yeah, 100%, man.
So
like and subscribe.
All
right, so that leads us to our last segment, the lucky strategies. How to socialize on a budget.
Yeah.
This goes back to the Gen X. I mean, it used to be, I guess pretty much every generation probably did this, but I really felt like the Gen X generation really did it more often. Mm-hmm. And that was the pregame philosophy.
Yeah.
You see that obviously with sports games, you don't want to pay that $18 beer, so you get stupid, and then you try to maintain that buzz is generally the vibe I get out there.
I mean, I don't drink, but
I personally don't like doing that just because I want to remember the game that I paid $350 for.
Yeah, right.
It's like I want to remember the concert.
I like being able to remember the fun times.
So it's like that's kind of not mine. But what I did like about it was you're hanging out with your friends, the girls are, tweaking their outfits and the guys are just shooting the crap.
Did you say the girls are twerking their
tweaking their
outfits? Sorry.
Not twerking, they're twerking their outfits.
Got distracted.
Tweaking their outfits. But honestly, with rideshare nowadays, it's actually really smart. You all meet, like a lot of times we'll meet at my house because it's close to downtown, and it makes the Uber, like a $5 Uber compared to like those that live way south Johnson County where it's like $35 for them.
Yeah. And
so it's kind of a nice way to get together, kind of match up your plans, and then do a ride share and split that, and it ends up being like a $2 Uber there and back kind of thing, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. I think one of the big things as far as like strategizing, if you, kind of like we talked about with like vacations and stuff, where if you budget for it, if you go ahead of time, carry cash, don't bring your debit card kind of thing, so that you can't overspend.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly a really good one, because
if you're going out with a partner, talk about it first, like how many drinks we're going to have, how many, how much we're going to spend here, but like give yourself a little room, to go a little extra if you want to, but give yourself a hard stop. And if you just pull out the plastic and swipe away, bring cash.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've had those times where, you're going up there buying a drink. Oh, I want one. I'll get it. I'll get it. I'll get it. And then you get your bill the next day. You had 36 charges. And you're like, oh my God, why did I do that?
Right.
And you're like, that was so stupid, kind of thing.
And especially for like St. Patrick's Day, because I'm always the designated driver because I don't drink. But planning that part too. Yeah. There's a lot of legal stuff that can happen if you're being stupid.
Well, and that's, I mean, I think that's one thing when like ride shares started coming out, and I love it now. Uber's gotten more smart. They have ride share for like women only, so you can request a woman driver to feel safer, kind of thing. I just think that's just awesome. It's one of those things.
When I was still in the Army, there was one of our units. A lot of guys were over 21, and they'd go out and kind of party on the weekends and stuff. And so they created a list of people who were willing to be designated drivers and go pick people up from bars if they needed it.
Yeah,
and like what you would require, so like just fill my tank, whatever. And I had a big GMC Sierra conversion van, high top conversion van, I was like, I'm happy to pick people up. Just, fill up my tank. And if you puke in my car, get it detailed.
Yeah.
Nobody ever called me though.
No one ever called you?
They're like, that thing has a huge tank. It's going to be $500. Just, yeah. It was a great car though.
Yeah. So the next one we like to talk about is like the happy hour hero.
Mm-hmm.
Happy hour is kind of a big one. I know a lot of people in my generation, they love happy hour. It's savings. I know a lot of women love it because they usually get a huge discount during it. I know some places do free drinks for women on happy hour kind of thing.
Yep, because the guys are coming to try and hook up with the girls, and they'll pay full price for the drinks.
I mean, the title says it all, but what's crazy is a lot of times, eating out has almost increased about 6% in 2025, and it's just, about the same 26. But a lot of times those happy hours are about 25% off, sometimes half off. You get those, 6 or 3 to 6 usually. Now, being a healthcare worker, I never get indulge in those because I'm, working till 7. So
right,
that's not one of my things, but kind of stuff. And the other one is like that number one date standard, going, for coffee, that first date, meeting for a walk or something. I mean,
the first date is like, you're just meeting each other. You may have chatted a little bit, but you're just meeting each other, seeing if the vibe is good. And so why are we dropping a couple $100 on a first date that we may not even
see the next day?
Date?
Yeah. And my thing is, I think it's disrespectful and it's just completely unrealistic for anyone to expect someone to do that, male or female.
And unpopular opinion, sort of. It's 2026, right?
Yeah.
We have had modern feminism. Women want to be independent. They're boss babes, all that kind of stuff. Great. What about splitting the bill?
Yeah.
Or if she asks, she pays for it.
Yeah. Well, I think in general in dating, I've seen that where, that's kind of what Sid and I did. It's like, if I'm asking you out, then I pay. If she asks me out, she pays kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't matter because, we're the same. But I really appreciated this guy in England. I wish I could remember his name because I'd totally shout him out, where he does classes to help women find guys. Mm-hmm. And that's the first thing he says.
You talking about Matthew Hussey?
I might be.
Yeah. He's great. Anybody like... Social media, he's got so much good knowledge on how women can get out of their own way.
Yeah, and he opens up with
he's good.
He goes, how many of you expect a man to pay? And like all of them raise their hand.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, how many of you expect the man can sleep with you that same night? And of course, nobody raises their hand. And he goes, well, here's an eye-opener thing for you. If you're expecting that man to pay for your time, that's the same as a hooker, so he should be able to expect to have sex with you that night, if he wants.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, my God. And he goes...
Which, of course, is not what we expect.
Yeah, no, and we really don't.
The point of, yeah.
But, I mean, I guess we don't.
We don't,
but, but it was kind of an eye-opener for a lot of them, and then he asked any of them, what do you think is an acceptable way to do a date? And, of course, he brought up, coffee, meet and greet kind of drink, see if you're even compatible. And then if you do have food, at least offer to pay your half. Because most guys nowadays, they are fine with women being independent. They respect it. They want it. They appreciate it, but they also do appreciate a woman that says, oh, I can split it with you. And, it gives him the chance to go, no, I got this one.
Yeah.
But he did say flat out, if he does pay for that first one, you better pay for the second one.
Yeah.
To show to him that you are in it to meet somebody. You are in it to find a partner. You're not out for a meal app. I mean, there's a gal in New Jersey that she was bragging on TikTok.
I remember you telling me about
that she literally didn't pay for a meal for 3.5 years. And she bragged so much, the guys that she went on dates did a countersuit,
a class
action suit to sue her to have them all get paid back. And they won. And I'm like, I'm glad they won.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a woman using a man.
Fair is fair, right?
For food.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like, I learned a long time ago, back in my early 20s, this concept of, refuse twice. So if somebody insists on paying, like if it's a, want to go Dutch on the date, or if she wants to pay, that kind of stuff. It's like, no, I got it. If she insists again, no, I got it. If she insists one more time, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's like, I'm not trying to create a problem. If you really do want to pay, I'm not going to say no. I was raised much more traditional.
Yeah.
where the guy does pay and opens the door, that kind of stuff. But if we are in modern times, women are strong, independent women. Cool.
Well, and the sad thing is you're seeing like that push of, modern times, stuff like that. Well, you're seeing a downfall in like guys opening doors for girls. They're not, because I mean, I've been chastised like 4 or 5 times. Like, oh, you don't think I can open my door myself?
I have to.
I'm like,
it's only been once or twice, but
I go, no, I think you can. I'm just being a polite person.
Yeah.
Like I open doors for guys too.
Absolutely.
I let people in when they have a turn signal, and I'm a polite individual. I respect humanity.
Step into the auto parts store and I see a guy coming, I'll hold the door.
Yeah. I mean, I
got you, bro.
I was at Johnson County Community College, and I was holding the door, and like 6 girls walked through. Not one of them said thanks. And I was like, I'm going to sit here until a girl says thank you.
How long did you stay there?
It was like a good 10 minutes.
Wow.
Every guy that went through, thanks, man. Thanks, man. I had one guy who's like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just sitting here until a girl says thanks. He goes, okay. And he walked in, he's
like, you're going to be here a long time.
Thanks, man. And no, it was kind of funny because he goes in, he goes, thanks, like a girl. And I started laughing, but ultimately I had one girl, she's like, oh, thank you, appreciate it. Oh, chivalry's dead, and I was like, oh, kind of thing. It was kind of funny, but anyway.
Did you date her?
No, I was late for class.
But it took that long. You were late for class.
Like, son of a bitch.
You're half hour early. I was still late for class.
All right, guys. Happy St. Patty's Day. We appreciate you coming in.
Absolutely.
Hit that like and subscribe. Put in the comments, what life hacks you've done that's worked really well for you. The Stein is empty. It's time for us to go. We appreciate you guys. Stay classy, Kansas
I'll stick
City.
with my monsters, but
yeah.